a megacity with 170 Michelin stars, for less than your rent back home. Neon-soaked crossings, $3 ramen that rivals anything in Paris, and the safest streets of any megacity on Earth. This is Tokyo, Japan, a hypermodern capital of 14 million where world-class healthcare costs $7 a visit, a monthly train pass runs $75, and a comfortable lifestyle comes in at $1,800 to $2,200 a month. That's less than half of what you'd pay in New York. The secret? A currency that lost 35% of its value and turned one of the world's most expensive cities into its greatest bargain. Here's every dollar you'll spend living in Tokyo in 2026. Let's start with the bottom line. A single person can live comfortably in Tokyo for $1,800 to $2,200 per month. That includes a modern one-bedroom apartment in a trendy neighborhood like Nakano, eating out 3 to 4 times a week, a monthly transit pass, fiber internet, and health insurance. On a tight budget, you can get by on $1,200 to $1,500. That means a share house, cooking Japanese meals at home, and riding the trains everywhere. And if you want premium living, Minato-ku penthouses, Ginza cocktail bars, boutique fitness, Michelin omakase once a week, you're looking at $2,700 to $3,500. Now here's the context. Tokyo is not Southeast Asia cheap. It's the world's largest metropolitan economy. But at 150 yen to the dollar, your American salary buys 35% more than it did in 2021. Compared to New York, Tokyo is 40 to 50% cheaper. Compared to London, 51% cheaper. That's not a rounding error. That's a lifestyle upgrade. Housing is where the real surprises start. A one-bedroom apartment in central Tokyo averages $1,150 per month. Move to the outer wards and that drops to $600. But the neighborhoods couldn't be more different. Shibuya is the energy hub, fashion, nightlife, startups. One-bedrooms here run $933 to $1,333. Shinjuku is the transit powerhouse. The busiest station on Earth sits here, and rents range from $800 to $1,200. Minato-ku is the prestige address. Embassies, Roppongi Hills, Tokyo Tower views. Expect $1,067 to $1,467. But the real move? Nakano-ku. It's 5 minutes from Shinjuku by express train, has its own otaku culture hub at Nakano Broadway, and one bedroom start at just $533. Koenji, one stop further, is Tokyo's bohemian village. Vintage shops, live music, ramen alleys, with rents from $467 to $667. And then there are share houses. They're huge in Tokyo. Companies like Sakura House and Borderless House offer furnished private rooms with utilities and Wi-Fi included, starting at $400 a month. No key money, no guarantor. For your first 3 to 6 months, it's the smartest entry point. Quick tip, don't sign a lease your first month. Start in a share house, explore 3 or 4 neighborhoods on foot, then commit. The ward you pick changes everything. If you love food, Tokyo might ruin every other city for you. Let's start at the bottom. A beef bowl at Yoshinoya or Sukiya costs $2.67. That's a full hot meal with rice, pickles, and miso soup, for less than a coffee at Starbucks back home. Ramen at a local shop runs $5 to $8. A convenience store bento, and Japanese convenience stores are in a league of their own, costs $3 to $5. Onigiri rice balls, 80 cents. Standing udon and soba shops serve a hot bowl for $2.33. Now move up. An izakaya night with friends, think Japanese tapas plus beer, runs $20 to $33 per person. Conveyor belt sushi is $10 to $17. A proper dinner for 2 at a mid-range restaurant, $27 to $53. For groceries, a 5-kilogram bag of rice, that's 11 pounds, costs $13 to $17. Eggs are $1.67 for a 10-pack. Total monthly grocery bill, $200 to $300. And here's the thing that blows people away. Tokyo has 170 Michelin-starred restaurants, more than any city on Earth for 18 straight years, more than Paris, New York, and London combined. And some of those starred ramen shops? $12 a bowl. Here's a pro move. Hit convenience stores after 8 p.m. That's when they slap 20 to 50% discount stickers on bento boxes, sushi, and sandwiches. Same quality, half the price. Japan's healthcare system is one of the best on Earth, and it's shockingly affordable. If you're a resident for 3 or more months, you must enroll in national health insurance. It's mandatory. Premiums run $100 to $333 per month, depending on your income. In return, the government covers 70% of every medical bill. A doctor visit costs you $7 to $20. A specialist? $13 to $33. A hospital stay is $33 to $100 per night, your 30% share after insurance. Even dental cleaning is just $20 to $33. And the quality? Japan has the highest life expectancy on the planet at 84.7 years. It has 12.5 hospital beds per 1,000 people. That's 3 times the OECD average. Preventable mortality is 40% lower than the developed world average. This isn't discount healthcare, it's elite healthcare at discount prices. One thing to know, English-speaking doctors exist, but you'll need to seek them out. Search for English-speaking Clinic Tokyo before you need one, not after. Now let's talk about the costs that catch people off guard. First, the upfront housing trap. Traditional Japanese leases require key money, called raken, which is a non-refundable gift to the landlord worth 1 to 2 months' rent. Add a security deposit, agency fee, and guarantor fee, and you're looking at 4 to 6 months' rent before you even unpack. That's $2,000 to $7,000 upfront on a modest apartment. The workaround? Zero-key money listings are growing, especially on platforms targeting foreigners. Or start with a share house and skip the whole system. Utilities run $67 to $107 per month, electricity, gas, and water. Summer AC and winter heating can push that higher. Phone plans. Skip the major carriers. Budget MVNOs like Rakuten Mobile offer unlimited data for $22 a month. A prepaid SIM starts at $7. Transportation is Tokyo's crown jewel. A monthly commuter pass costs $53 to $100. A single train ride? 93 cents to $3.33. The system is so precise that the average delay across all lines is 54 seconds. And here's the visa angle. Japan launched a digital nomad visa in 2024. It's 6 months, requires $67,000 in annual income, and the key detail, you pay 0 Japanese tax on foreign earnings. Let's talk about safety, because Tokyo rewrites the rules. The homicide rate is 0.78 per 100,000 people. That's 8 times lower than the United States. Tokyo scored 92 out of 100 on the Safe Cities Index, the highest of any city in the world. You can walk anywhere at 3 a.m. with your phone in your hand and feel completely safe. Purses sit on chairs in restaurants. Umbrellas wait unclaimed at train stations for their owners. The crime that does exist? Mostly petty theft and bicycle violations. Japan ranks 12th on the Global Peace Index, 3rd in the Asia-Pacific region. Infrastructure is immaculate. Roads have no potholes. Public toilets are spotlessly clean and often heated. The train system has a 60-year safety record on the bullet train with 0 passenger fatalities. The one honest risk? Earthquakes. Tokyo sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, and a major quake is statistically overdue. But every building constructed after 1981 meets strict seismic codes. Emergency systems are world-class. Underground flood channels can swallow entire rivers. Japan didn't eliminate the risk, it engineered around it. Here's where Tokyo gets strategic. If you're on the digital nomad visa, you pay 0 Japanese income tax on your foreign earnings. 0. You earn from your US or European clients. You work from a Tokyo cafe, and Japan doesn't take a yen. For residents on work visas, the tax system is progressive, 5% on income up to $13,000, scaling to 45% above $267,000. plus a flat 10% local resident tax. Japan has 74 tax treaties covering 81 jurisdictions, so double taxation is generally avoided. Banking requires a residence card. Shinsei Bank is the most foreigner-friendly option with English support. For day-to-day money, Wise and Revolut work, but Japan is still about 80% cash in daily transactions. One heads up, the co-working scene is solid. WeWork has 30-plus locations across Japan at $286 a month for all access. Local alternatives like Fabit start at $103. And hundreds of cafes double as remote offices. Starbucks, Tully's, and Doubter all have Wi-Fi and power outlets. Plus, Tokyo's train stations now have mini-work booths you can rent by the minute. Cash tip: always carry at least 10,000 yen, about $67. Plenty of restaurants and small shops still don't take cards. I see cards like Suica work for transit and konbini, but cash is still king in daily life. The weak yen is both Japan's problem and your opportunity. At 150 yen to the dollar, your American salary buys 35% more than it did in 2021. The Bank of Japan raised rates to 0.75% in December 2025, the highest since 1995. But that's still far below the US at 3.75% or the EU at 2.15%. The IMF expects 2 more rate hikes in 2026, pushing toward 1%. Inflation has been above the BOJ's 2% target for 44 consecutive months. Food prices hit record highs in 2025, with over 20,000 items seeing price increases. GDP growth is forecast at 0.9% for 2026, modest but stable, supported by rising real wages and private investment. The yen is expected to strengthen to 140 to 145 by late 2026 as rate hikes take effect. What does this mean for you? The window of extreme value is open right now. If the yen strengthens by 10%, your monthly costs go up $150 to $200. The smart move is to lock in this exchange rate advantage while it lasts. Tokyo was named the world's #1 workation city in 2025, and the numbers back it up. Average Wi-Fi speed in cafes and co-working spaces hits 200 megabits per second. Home fiber, 1 gigabit, is widely available for $27 to $40 a month. Mobile coverage blankets the city in reliable 4G and 5G. There are over 50 dedicated co-working spaces, plus hundreds of Nomad-friendly cafes. Even train stations have rentable work booths by the minute. The expat community? Around 300,000 foreign residents in Tokyo, with active meetup groups and networking events every week. The one downside? English. It's low to moderate. Tourist areas and tech companies are fine, but government offices, banks, and hospitals can be a challenge. You'll want Google Translate and DeepL on your phone at all times. Contracts and legal documents absolutely need a Japanese speaker. But here's the trend. The younger generation is increasingly English capable, and AI translation tools are closing the gap fast. Tokyo doesn't just function, it delights. 4 distinct seasons paint the city in cherry blossoms in spring, blazing heat in summer, crimson foliage in autumn, and crisp, clear skies in winter. There are over 2,500 temples and shrines across the metro area, world-class museums, Team Lab immersive exhibits, kabuki theater, sumo wrestling, and then there's the nightlife. Shinjuku's Golden Guy packs over 200 tiny bars into 6 narrow alleys, each seating 6 to 8 people, each with its own personality. Shibuya clubs run until sunrise. Roppongi draws the international crowd, and the craft beer scene has exploded. Over 200 breweries in the city. For fitness, this is a dream. Onsen hot springs are everywhere, $5 to $17 for a day soak. Martial arts dojos, judo, karate, kendo, aikido, run $33 to $100 a month. Gym memberships are $47 to $80. And the Imperial Palace running loop, 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles, is one of the most iconic jogging routes in the world. The food alone would justify living here. 170 Michelin stars, $3 ramen that changes your standards forever, convenience stores that serve better food than most sit-down restaurants in other countries. Don't skip the standing soba shops in train stations. They look like nothing, just a counter and a bowl. But $2.50 for fresh buckwheat noodles and hot broth. It's the best cheap meal in Asia. Let's put Tokyo head-to-head with its closest rival, Seoul, South Korea. Both are hyper-modern Asian megacities with world-class transit, incredible food scenes, and strong expat communities. On rent, they're surprisingly close. A one-bedroom in central Tokyo runs $1,100 to $1,500. In Seoul, $1,100 to $1,700. But Tokyo's suburbs win, $500 to $733 versus Seoul's $600 to $900. On food, Tokyo dominates the budget tier. A beef bowl here is $2.67. In Seoul, budget meals start at $5 to $8. Monthly groceries? $200 to $300 in Tokyo versus $250 to $350 in Seoul. Transit goes to Seoul, $37 to $55 for a monthly pass versus Tokyo's $53 to $100. Flat fare versus distance-based. Safety isn't even close. Japan ranks 12th on the Global Peace Index. South Korea ranks 46th. Tokyo's homicide rate is 0.78 per 100,000. Seoul's metro area is higher. Internet speed favors Seoul at 250 megabits versus Tokyo's 200. English friendliness? Seoul wins there too. And apartment sizes? Seoul gives you about 33 square meters versus Tokyo's 25. That's 355 versus 269 square feet. The bottom line? Tokyo wins on safety, food, and cultural depth. Seoul wins on apartment size, English access, and transit cost. The weak yen has closed the price gap to near zero. It comes down to what you value most. Japan is at a crossroads. Its population is shrinking faster than any major economy. In 2025, the country recorded its fewest births since 1899. Tokyo's population will begin declining in the 2030s. And the government's response? Something Japan has never done before, actively welcoming foreigners. The digital nomad visa launched in 2024. The startup visa expanded. And Japan's first casino resort, an $8 billion MGM complex in Osaka, broke ground in 2025, opening in 2030 with an expected 20 million annual visitors. For expats, population decline means labor shortages, which means more opportunities for skilled foreigners. The visa system is loosening. Multilingual services are expanding. AI translation is erasing the language barrier faster than anyone predicted. The yen? Expected to strengthen to 140 to 145 by late 2026 as the Bank of Japan continues raising rates. That means the extreme value window narrows. Right now, you're getting a first-world megacity, the safest, the cleanest, the most food-obsessed on Earth, at a 35% discount. That won't last forever. That's Tokyo in 2026. World-class living at a historic discount. Would you pick Tokyo over Seoul? Or is there another city you want us to break down next? Drop it in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next cost of living deep dive, hit subscribe now.